wildfires, extreme weather, a super El Nino that's got everyone a little nervous, a shrinking food supply, food prices that just keep climbing, and what seems like a never-ending stream of recalls and contamination problems. It's a tangled web, and there are a lot of reasons right now to be paying attention to our food supply. But here's the thing. With most of these, we actually have an advantage. We can see these things coming. Maybe we don't know exactly how bad they're going to get or how they're going to really affect us, but we've got a warning. We know we need to prepare. I've always thought the bigger threat is the one we don't see coming, the thing that hits us completely out of left field with absolutely no warning and no time to prepare. It's happened before and it will happen again. And that's why I don't wait. I'm Jara with Wicked Prepared. If you're new here, welcome, and don't forget to subscribe and give this video a like while you're down there. Today, I've got another big Prepper Pantry haul to share with you. And as I go through it, I'm going to show you not just what I'm stocking, but why these are the foods that I want in my pantry and the tools that I want on my shelf. Because building a food supply really doesn't have to be complicated. Start with what your family already eats. Figure out what's already shelf stable and buy extra. And then look at the perishable foods that you rely on and find shelf stable ways to replace them. The goal here isn't to build some strange emergency diet. It's to make sure that you can continue cooking and eating as normally as possible, even when normal really isn't possible. And I think we need to look further ahead than next month or even next year. Maybe you're not worried about the food supply today, but what is it going to look like 10 years from now? And that's one reason that you always see me putting so much emphasis on long-term freeze-dried foods. They're superior in nutrition and they're designed to last for decades. I'm putting food away today that can still be there for us years down the road, no matter what the world looks like then. I still do rotate these foods, but there's not nearly as much worry about things going to waste. And the future feels a lot more secure. So let's get into this haul because whatever you're preparing for, the most important thing is simple. Don't wait until you need it to start putting it away. I've got some things here today that I'm really excited to show you, some things that you've probably never seen before, maybe never even thought of, and some awesome giveaways to help you build an incredible pantry. And at the end, I'm going to open and try, taste, and test some of these new items on camera and let you know what I think of them and if they were worth the purchase. So let's go. All right, I'm going to start right over here. And first up, I've got some different freeze-dried foods. This has been a really good month for freeze-dried food, for sales and coupon codes. So I've been able to really bulk up, which this is the time of year we want to start doing that, making sure that we're bulking up our pantry for the winter that's coming. And knowing that I got a bunch of freeze-dried food that I know is going to last a lot longer and be a lot healthier and more nutritious just makes me happy. So first up here, I've got some of these different bag items. I've got a bunch of different ones, and these are not necessarily meant for long-term storage, but these bags will last for usually about 4 years, which is plenty. As long as you keep things rotated, you don't need everything to have a 25, 30-year shelf life. And this was a really good sale that's going on right now for back to school because, you know, these are great for snacks, not only for pantry foods. So we got a bunch of different ones. I've got banana slices. These are a favorite of our kids. Now, these bags right here they're more than single serving, but my kids can polish off one of these pretty much in a day. So I sometimes will send these bags to school with my kids or wherever they're going. So banana, and then I've got coconut, pineapple, and mango. This is let's see, there's the coconut. Coconut is a huge favorite of ours and a lot of people. This stuff is amazing. And it's not a sweetened like candy coconut product. It's literally just coconut. There is no sugar or anything added. So it's super healthy. And then the pineapple, there's no sugar added to any of these, but coconut a lot of times is. And mango, so this is it's 45% off a tropical bundle. So there's 2 of each of these that come, which is awesome. And then I got some freeze-dried dragon fruit because we love this stuff. And this is actually 50% off. The sale is actually so amazing. But the dragon fruit, honestly, I think my favorite part about it is the beautiful color, because this, if you put it in a smoothie, it makes it such a brilliant, beautiful pink color. You can put these into drinks. My daughter loves to get these drinks that have some freeze-dried dragon fruit pieces on the top, and then you stir it and it kind of gives it this beautiful like pink ombre color. So we love this. And then I got a bunch of cauliflower and broccoli. I love these in these little bags because number one, you totally can snack on these. They're actually really good to dip in dips. They're like veggie crudités, but they're freeze dried and crunchy. So they're a super good like substitute for chips. But these bags I also love for putting into like meals in a bag, emergency meal kits, because one bag, maybe two bags if you have a really big family, perfect for one meal to either add into a recipe or to serve as a side dish. So these are great for like chicken, broccoli, and rice casseroles, or like if you're doing low carb with the cauliflower, we do like zuppa toscana and use this in place of potatoes, lots of things. And then I got a bag. This was on sale and we love these. This is a big bag and then inside are 10 smaller single serve bags. And this is a seasoned corn. If you've never had freeze-dried corn, it's a delicious snack. It's good in recipes. This is so good on salads. We love this on salads. We've been eating a ton of salads lately. And this is a bigger bag here. So this is strawberries. And strawberries is probably like everybody's most popular freeze-dried item. And these sold out in the smaller bags, but that's okay because I like to get these bigger bags. This bag is actually huge and it's one big bag. There's no individual bags inside. But what I do with these a lot is I will divide them up into small, like half-pint mason jars, and I put a silicone sleeve on them. And then I send the whole thing to school with my daughter. So I'm not worried about the jar breaking, but I'm also giving her something that's reusable and non-toxic instead of plastic bags or plastic containers. And the mason jars, as a bonus, they keep your freeze-dried food super, super dry and crisp. And then back here, I got a couple packs of these freeze-dried smoothie bites. They have acai bowl and avo mango. These actually weren't on sale, but these are just so delicious. And with back to school coming up and the time of year that we're going to be packing a lot of snacks and bringing snacks with us along to activities and stuff, these are just delicious and so healthy. They're smoothie bites. They're just all fruit and some coconut and a nut. So healthy, so yummy. I want to take advantage of the free shipping, with my cart, with my sale items. So I did grab a couple more packs of these. And then next, I've got a whole bunch of these bags. So these bags are more intended for long-term storage. These are like the type of Mylar bag that you would store your own food in if you did it at home, if you don't do mason jars. These windows are part of the bag. They're not a separate window, so they don't affect the integrity of the bag. And there was a couple of good coupon deals. So I got these in two different orders. So this is like one of my most favorite freeze-dried ingredients ever. So this is a freeze-dried mirepoix blend, which is diced celery, carrots, and onions. And this is great for so many dishes. I put this in so many things. And it's good for meals in a jar if you're putting up like long-term, dry, freeze-dried meals in a jar. This is also good just to keep in your kitchen. And just if you are making dinner and you want to include some mirepoix to season it up, you don't want to have to chop all those veggies. This is a great way to go. So I got several different mirepoix, so many mirepoix. There's a bunch of them up here. And then I got the freeze-dried peppers and onions blend. So it's like a fajita blend, like sliced peppers and onions, which I love for a lot of different recipes because a lot of the freeze-dried peppers and onions you can find are diced, which is great for certain recipes. But I have certain recipes where I want slices. So that's when I use these. And then I've got some potato products. So I've got freeze-dried. These are herb and garlic russets. I mean, look at how amazing these look. And some more of the herb and garlic. But then I also got these freeze-dried potatoes these are red skin potatoes with peppers and onions. And both of these are seasoned. And what I really liked about them is that they are big chunks of potato because a lot of times you're freeze-dried and especially dehydrated, but most of the freeze-dried potatoes you're going to find are going to be small, very small dices, which is great for a lot of things. But I want to do like stews, like beef stew and things like that with nice, good chunks of potato. So that's what I was thinking of. But these, of course, they're all seasoned and completely ready to go. So these could also be served as just a side dish alongside a meal, in an emergency or not in an emergency. These are great for camping trips. They're great for all sorts of things. And next I got some freeze-dried turkey. So this is turkey breast. You can see these nice, beautiful slices of turkey look like they came right off of your Thanksgiving turkey. And I just wanted to be able to include turkey in some recipes as opposed to chicken. And there's not a lot of turkey out there, but this company actually has not only the turkey breast, they also have ground turkey, which is really awesome. And then spinach. Spinach is so nutritious, and I love to throw just chopped, crumbled spinach into many, many different dishes. Sometimes it's part of my recipe. Sometimes I'm just adding it to anything for extra nutrition. And right now, when a lot of people are avoiding like fresh salad greens because of all the recalls and stuff. This can provide a lot of the same nutrients that you're missing out on if you're not eating salads and stuff. So I love to have the spinach on hand. Of course, being freeze dried, you know that it's got way more nutrients even than fresh, because the fresh spinach you're seeing at the store has been sitting around long enough that the nutrients are just all sapping out of it. And then, of course, it's probably going to go bad before you can finish the bag. So this way, I absolutely love this. I used to do frozen spinach, but to be honest, I hate having to thaw it and squeeze all that water out of it. So this kind of solves all my problems. So up here, I've just got some more of the mirepoix, some more of the herb and garlic russets. Let's see if there's anything different. So freeze-dried stir-fry blend. I love this because there's things in here that you're not going to find anywhere else freeze-dried. And this could be a whole freeze-dried meal, stir-fry meal with these veggies. And there's such a variety of different veggies. Be good for a lot of different things. More of the potatoes, more of the mirepoix. Like I said, this is definitely a favorite. So I think that's all I've got up there. There is a giveaway going on with this brand right now. It's an amazing giveaway. You can actually win up to $1,000 of free food that you get to choose. And then there's also another kind of special giveaway that we've got going on right now. I'm going to tell you all about both of those giveaways in just a little bit. And next, before I get to this food, I've got this right up here. Now, these look kind of funny. I didn't even know something like this existed, but I searched for a pouch squeezer because honestly, that is one of my least favorite tasks. I have little pouches of things like maybe salad dressings in a salad kit, or our sous vide meals come with sauce pouches a lot of the time. I get little pouches of wet cat and dog food. Stresses me out squeezing those packets because I want to get every bit out of them. So I'm squeezing them really hard. I'm running my fingers down and my hands slip. I make a mess all over the place. I get things all over my hands. I just hate it. And then I still don't feel like I get everything out of the pouches. So I looked up to see if there was any such thing as a pouch squeezer. And this is what I found. And I got to be honest, I tried one of these earlier. I wish I would have filmed it. I didn't think of it, but it worked amazing because I was kind of skeptical. I was like, is this really going to work? So it also has a cutter on it. So they have a cutter built in that you can use to cut the pouches open if you need to, especially if they don't have a little tear notch. And you just slip your pouch in here, it's separate, and you just kind of hold this and run it down your pouch, and it did an amazing job. I was amazed. So these are like my new favorite thing I never knew existed. They actually even come with like a suction cup, so I guess you could hang it like on your fridge or something. I like that it's a 2-pack. I was thinking like, what do I really need 2 for? But honestly, if you get right down to the little opening of the pouch, if you go all the way down to get out every last bit, you can get a little bit of dressing or whatever it is on the tool. So then I can just rinse it off and let it dry. And I have another one to use while it's drying, or if I wanted to put it through the dishwasher or anything. And I don't remember how much these were. I will put links to everything down below for anything you want to check out, but it was not very expensive. So I am super excited to have this. And now I've got some more freeze-dried food, and this is in cans, so it's different than the ones that were in the bags. And these cans are definitely long-term storage, 30 years unopened for pretty much all these items. There's one that's going to be different, but this was a breakfast bundle, and this is really amazing because several reasons. Number one, this is egg crystals, which is absolutely a must-have in the pantry. One of our favorite items. Use this for so much. It's just powdered egg, basically, and you add water. See, it's eggs is the only ingredient, but this is the item though that's less than 30-year shelf life, 7 years, but I'm sure it would go longer than that. But we use them so much that I have never tested that. But it basically makes liquid scrambled eggs, and then you can cook it up and you don't even notice the difference that they're not fresh eggs. They are absolutely amazing. They are so great to use in mixes if you're out of eggs and you just need a quick egg or two. They're just amazing. And the good thing about these, there's a lot of egg products out there that are not very tasty. So if you put it in a cake mix or something, you're good. But if you try to eat them on their own, they're really gross. And they're all really expensive. So, if you're going to buy something and then find out it's disgusting, that's kind of a bummer. So we love this one. And this actually, because it's an omelet bundle, it actually came with 2 cans of the eggs, which is really, really awesome. And it also came with, so that's another thing, these mushrooms, these are brand new in this size can. So if you notice, these cans are about the size of a quart. They're not the number 10 cans that you typically see people buying freeze-dried food in. Now, this company does have number 10 cans, so most of these ingredients you can get in a bigger can if you want. But it took me a while to come around to these pantry cans, but a lot of people really love them. And it really is like an entry point. You can get a lot more variety of food for a lot less money because they're smaller. They cost a lot less. I mean, some of these cans are like less than $10, like way under $10. Really, really good priced. This mushrooms, they haven't been available in the pantry can. They've only been available in the large number 10 can. So this is new. So that's why they put 2 of these in this bundle. And then it's got the onions and peppers because this would all go together to make great, omelets and all sorts of breakfast casseroles, lots of different dishes like that. And then it has cheese, freeze-dried shredded cheese. And this is such an amazing bundle because the eggs and the cheese are really high value items. And you're getting half of this bundle almost is eggs and cheese. So that's amazing. So for the price of this bundle, it's barely more than what you would pay for like 1 can of some of these high value items from, in a number 10 can from a different company, because they also have really good prices. So I'm going to put a link down below to where you can find the best prices on these items, where you can find the sale and all of the info that you need if you want to add this bundle to your pantry as well. And I will open up and show you some of these things a little bit later on so you can check out what they're like inside and see, how they are without even having to buy them yourself. I saved a ton this month by shopping smart and taking advantage of sales and coupon codes. And I was able to knock off some wish list items and some restock items for way less than I would have by being strategic. If you'd like to be able to do the same, here's a few resources for you. TryFreezeDried.com is a site that's always updated with the best sources, current sale info, links for the lowest prices, and the most current coupon codes available at the time. Now keep this bookmarked and register for the notifications on the site so you don't have to remember to keep checking. And then the most surefire way to make sure that you don't miss out on any deals is to join our text alert service. There's 2 ways to do this. You can join the basic list by texting alert to my number, and I'll keep it to just a few texts a month. You'll get the basics. But my extreme bargain hunter friends who don't want to miss a thing and don't mind getting up to a few texts a week when things are really hopping, they join my insiders list by texting insider. And no matter which one you choose, it's always free. It's just a way to help our community save and stockpile more for less. But what about adding to your prepper pantry without spending anything at all? If you're a regular here, you know that we've got a really impressive giveaway drawing that's going on all this month of August, with our friends over at Freeze Dry Wholesaler. Earlier this month, I announced we would be giving away a total of $2,500 in gift cards to be used on their website, with one lucky grand prize winner receiving $1,000 in free food. If you haven't already entered, text FDW to my number here on the screen, and you'll get a text back from me that'll give you all the details. But this week, my friend Steve, who's the owner of Freeze Dry Wholesalers, told me that he wanted to sweeten the deal even more. So here's what we're doing. We're going to do a giveaway within the giveaway. Now let me explain how this is going to work. Steve wanted to give away a few special reserve packs of food that aren't even available to the public right now. These are actually some of the most popular foods that he supplies to our military, with freeze-dried ribeye steaks, New York steaks, USDA prime roast beef, smoked brisket, and drumroll, this is my number 1 fave, freeze-dried Maine lobster. Isn't that incredible? Some of these I haven't even gotten to try. And here's how you can enter. Text me with the word that corresponds to which one of those you'd like to win. So if you'd like to win a free pack of lobster, text lobster. If you want ribeyes, text ribeye. Roast beef, text roast. I'm going to put a graphic on the screen. Just be sure to use the right word so that my texting program knows which item that you're going with. And then we'll choose 3 lucky winners from the list of names that we get. And if you're chosen, you're going to get the food of your choice shipped right to your door, completely free, no strings attached. And we're only doing this for the first 3 days after this video is posted. So Sunday, August 23rd, 2026, and then the 24th and 25th. After we get all the entries, we're going to pick 3 lucky winners, and you'll receive the food that you wanted if you're one of them. Isn't that exciting? Make sure to share this video with anybody that you know who might also be interested in winning some free food so they get a chance to join as well. This is so absolutely amazing of Steve to do, because not only are all these items currently unavailable to the public, but they probably won't be available for as much as a year into the future. These are all pretty much once a year products that they run just for the US Navy, and then they only open up the overruns when they actually have them. And that's really not even as frequent these days as it used to be, given everything that I've just mentioned earlier about the state of our food supply. So this is a huge opportunity. And I am so thankful to Steve for offering this to our community. He really goes above and beyond. He also has given us a generous coupon code for our community to use on their orders anytime. So head on over to tryfreezedried.com/bags to check out the incredible selection that they offer. I promise you're going to be blown away by the variety and everything that they have. And then file our code Wicked Prepared away in your brain to use anytime you place an order. Now let's get back to this haul and see what else I've got here. Now over here I've got something kind of exciting that I wanted to show you guys. I've kind of gradually uncovered this. This was behind a lot of my bags of freeze-dried food. This is something that I had never seen before. It's made by the company that makes Instant Pot, and it's an ice cream maker. It's called the Instant Chill. I had never seen this before, and usually I'm the one that discovers things, and Mr. Wicked Prepared said, have you ever seen this? I'd never seen it. I think that it's pretty new. And I would say it's probably not really a prepping item because it is electric, but I did want to show you guys because it is so cool. And we were thinking, like, if it was a summer power outage, like, we could use this with our power station. If we were pretty sure the power was going to be coming back on and we weren't worried about like long term, then this would be something fun to do with the kids if the power was out and everybody was bored and hot, you know. I tried to peel the sticker off so you could see what it looks like, but it had a couple little stubborn spots. But I'm going to unbox this a little bit later and show you kind of what it looks like out in person. The cool thing about this is that it has its own compressor, so you don't have to freeze anything yourself ahead of time. Like my daughter has a Ninja Creamy, which is pretty cool, but you have to freeze the big tubs of your ingredients like for the night before you want to use them. So it's not really instant and quick. This, you just pour the ingredients right in. It cools and freezes on its own. It's so cool the way it makes the ice cream. And within like 20 minutes, you've got your ice cream. Boom. It's awesome. And this is so awesome. You can make regular ice cream. You can make rolled ice cream. You can make sorbet. You can make dairy-free ice creams. And what we're most excited to make is going to be some high-protein, low-carb ice cream that we're going to plan on making because we've been really locked into this metabolic reset and weight loss program that we've been doing. I know that a lot of you guys have been following along and a lot of you know that we're doing this. We have, between the two of us, we've now lost 80 pounds total since we started in the kind of middle end of May. We did a 6-week challenge. It started on June 1st. And Mr. Wicked Prepared actually was one of the grand prize winners for that challenge. It was super awesome. He got to pick his grand prize, and it was between like a Nordic track treadmill, a Peloton bike, a rowing machine, an infrared sauna, and an elliptical machine. He got to take his pick, and he picked the treadmill. So we are super excited about that. We've had a ton of people asking what we're doing, asking about the challenge. So we've got a group that people can join if they want to find out a little bit more. There's going to be another challenge starting soon. It's going to be starting within like the next month or so. We know there's a ton of people that have been interested in doing the challenge or even just following along with what we're doing and cheering us on. So we're also planning to post some recipes in the group that go along with the program that we've been following. And of course, that's going to include hopefully some yummy, healthy ice cream. But we've been making homemade pizzas and garlic bread, and we've had mozzarella sticks, just all kinds of things that are healthier versions of a lot of the foods that we love all the time. And like I said, we have lost 80 pounds so far. We are not slowing down anytime soon. So I'm going to put a link down below for anybody that wants to go on over to that group, join, follow along with us, or even maybe take part in the next challenge if that's something that you're interested in. Back here, I've got a bunch of these Quest protein chips. We actually really love these protein chips. These are they're like tortilla style chips. They are super yummy. They've got 19 grams of protein per bag, only 4 grams of net carbs. And this was a really good deal because Walmart actually had this because they're kind of expensive, to be honest. And we only you usually take them along if we need to pack like a healthy snack with us. We don't just eat them around the house. But Walmart had this particular flavor for some reason, on sale way cheaper. And there was an Ibotta rebate for it. So I'm not sure if that's all still going on, but I will have links down below. So we were able to get these a lot cheaper, which is awesome. So I think this is going to be a delicious flavor. And then I've got a couple of big jugs of apple cider vinegar. This is just the plain old apple cider vinegar. Vinegar is so important to have in your prepper pantry. It's got so many different uses. Apple cider vinegar particularly, I use in a bunch of my favorite recipes. But to be honest, in the summer, the biggest thing I use this for is making fruit fly traps. So I feel like I'm always restocking in the summer because I'm going through it even quicker than I normally do. Plus some of our favorite summer dishes like my broccoli salad recipe, for instance, uses this, but fruit fly traps all the time. And next I've got a bunch of supplements here. Now this is my supplements. This is the women's. I always get people asking about this whenever they see my supplement packs, because it has AM and PM packs. So this is what they look like inside. There's 2 packs and it's a bunch of different supplements. It took me a while to figure this out because for a while I was taking other supplements and then I realized they were already in here. Like this contains, like this is like what, 7 or 8 different supplements that are in the AM, and then I think about 8 that are in the PM. And it just spaces things out the way that, it's best for your body to take them. It makes it simple. I love that I can just grab a stack of these. Like if we're going on a trip, I just take however many packs of how many days we're going on the trip. But I get asked all the time about these when people see these. So this is what I use. And then these actually also come with a probiotic, but instead of putting it in the pack, they keep it separate so you can refrigerate it, because really it's best to refrigerate your probiotics to keep them fresh. And then berberine, this is another supplement that I've been using. It's not in the pack, so I take this separately. This is, people call it nature's Ozempic, but it doesn't really work exactly like Ozempic, but it works like a different like diabetes drug. It helps with like blood sugar control and insulin and all of that stuff. And it's really pretty amazing. I did not even know that it had more than just weight loss. It's actually good for your gut health. It helps your gut to kind of get rid of the bad bacteria and build up the good bacteria that we need in our microbiome. It's amazing stuff. And then this one also has chromium, which is also good for weight loss, and then like milk thistle, which is good for your liver. And then over here I've got a couple of things. So this is just a multivitamin. I just got this for my daughter because I figure like teenagers and stuff, they don't necessarily need a whole pack with a lot of supplements like us old people do. So I thought that would be overwhelming. So just the plain multivitamin. And then I also got this NutriView, which is for like vision support. This is going to be good. She's heading off to college. This is good for eye strain and for like, when you're looking at computer screens all the time, and just really good for your vision. And this one is in my pack. See, that's what I mean. That's something that is already in my pack, but I figured I'll just give her like a la carte the things that she needs and not a whole pack. And then I've got some more supplements and sort of health related stuff here. Definitely important to keep your health up and to have plenty of, all of the things you need to keep your health up if things go south and we don't have medical care and all of that. So I got a couple of cleansing sort of products here. Parasite Cleanse. This is full of a lot of parasite cleansing ingredients. Black walnut hull, it's got wormwood, it's got all sorts of different stuff in here, neem, pumpkin seed, clove, all of these things. And then this is another sort of GI cleanse. It's very similar, except this obviously is capsules, and then this is like a liquid, like a tincture, and this does not have all of the same things in it. This has wormwood, papaya, pumpkin seed, black walnut hull, cloves. So a couple of different things that are good to have on hand and to kind of, keep yourself cleaned out of all those icky things. And then with cleansing, it's definitely important to have binders and stuff. So activated charcoal, this can be a binder for a cleanse. It's also just great to have on hand for cleansing in general, for, poisoning, things like that. It's a good item to have in your just sort of medicine cabinet arsenal. And fulvic and humic extract, or fulvic and humid acid, this is another one that also works as a binder, really great for cleansing and toxins, removing toxins from your body and things like that. And then this is something my cousin actually told me about, nutribiotics. So she uses this basically like where you would use an antibiotic, because I think it's definitely good. We have emergency antibiotics on hand and we will use antibiotics if it's necessary, but I think there's a lot of times that you can fight things off without it. And this is something I'm really excited to try, grapefruit seed extract. It's supposed to be really, really good. Anybody has any experience with this, let me know. It does come in a liquid and these are pills. Thought that would be easier to take because I think the liquid tastes pretty bad. And then when it comes to supplements, like we have been really, really serious in the last couple months on our sort of weight loss and wellness journey. And it's been awesome. But there's a couple like products that we've been using that we wouldn't want to be without. And like we've taken trips and we've been going, to different things like track meets and places that we're gone all day. We want to keep on our routine, on our regimen, stay healthy. I think that's really important. So I got some of these things. This one you can see I already put some of my shake mix in it to see if it fit, and it fits perfectly in this. So this is by Blender Bottle, the company Blender Bottle that makes like shaker bottles. And this is a Go Stack. So it's a better type of material for your food stuff. It's not glass, but so what these are is there's like different size containers that you can mix and match, because see, each of these kind of locks on and locks off, and then each has its own lid that you can take on and off. So you can put little snacks, like you could put nuts or whatever you wanted. You can put, like, we're using it for supplement powders. Like this is the glucose control shake we're both take, because it's helped us so much with our weight loss and stuff like that. So, and you can see I did put something in here to see if it fit. This fit our creatine perfectly. And you can get multiple of these and you can mix and match them however you want. And so I really wanted to get more of these, but this was kind of, I think it was like $15. Like it was kind of a lot. I probably got a little bit of a deal on it, but still. So then I figured maybe I'd slowly, add one every once in a while, like when I could fit it in the budget. But then I saw this, which looked just like the same thing, but it was not the same brand, and it was cheaper. Figured I would try that. And then I saw these, which was 2 sold together for even cheaper per one. And so what I found when I got these is that this actually does work with this system, and actually so do these. So I think what I'm probably going to end up doing, I might even return this and just use the cheaper one. And then I think you can tell the difference in workmanship, the materials. The real brand one is nicer. So I think I'll still maybe try to gradually buy some more of these. But for the time being, if we need to mix and match and get more, supplements, if it's both of us going somewhere together, if we're going for multiple days and I want to keep everything organized, it's just easier when you're traveling if I have everything portioned out. And then these are another thing that I use similarly. I just took a trip and I used these in a similar way. These are actually just sort of pill holders. This one's so pretty, pink. It's got a strap. They screw open and they are very nice and airtight because they have like a ring around it. And these are perfect. They're great for things like your vitamins if you wanted to do it that way. I have something else I use for my vitamins. But I use these for different powdered supplements, and it worked great. And the powders pour out so clean. It doesn't even leave any residue because they're all metal. So this actually works really nicely too. But I just like with this, the way it has multiple different sizes. Like I couldn't fit my shake powder, for instance, in one of these. Oh, and I forgot to mention with this, I just had this here because I wanted to say, like, some of these products that I have gotten from, one place. I really love that they put free samples in. Like every single order I get free samples of different, like this is electrolytes. So not only is it really cool for like trying new products, but it's also good for like having a little packets that you might want to stick in your bug out bag, or you might want to stick in any of your little preparedness kits if you need packets. I love getting them as free samples, and then I have them without having to buy them. And then another thing along the same lines, but more about hydration, I got a new Owala water bottle. This was on sale when I got it, but I absolutely love this color scheme. This is my favorite water bottle. We do a lot more reusable water bottles now, not as many, throwaway ones. These are amazing because they're all stainless steel inside, and they have a special spout that you can it has a straw inside that connects, so you can either use it like a straw right here, or you can tip it and sip it like, you would just sip out of a water bottle. So they call it sip and chug, I think, or something like that, because you can do both. But I love this color scheme. My other bottle has gotten pretty beat up because I use it all the time, and I just wanted a second one so that when, I put it in the dishwasher, I have another one to use right away without having to wait. These are 30 ounces. And the thing I like about these is they have this big handle, which makes it easy to carry. It's a big water bottle, but they made the base small so that you could fit it in a typical cup holder. So I love that. And then back here, I've got a bunch of different wipes. So these are flushable wipes. Well, let's start with these. So these are water wipes, which are just water, which I really like. But these ones, so this is a little different. These are both water wipes. Now this does not look super special. It just looks like a plain cardboard box. These, I was super excited to find these because these are actually individually wrapped water wipes, which I guess they're not the actual water wipes brand, but they are basically the same thing, individually wrapped, which I love because sometimes you don't have room for a whole pack. You just want to have one wipe. I think I decided I wanted to get these. We were packing a lot of meals to go to track meets, to track practices, stuff like that. We were packing our dinner, packing our lunch, eating on the go. And I wanted something to clean my hands, before or after eating that wasn't going to leave like, I don't know, just grossness on my hands. If you use wipes that aren't, even if they're gentle like baby wipes, they're still going to leave like a taste on your hands if you touch your mouth with your hands. I wanted the water wipes, so I was super excited to find these individually packed because this is going to make it so easy to throw them into anything, to just have them handy in like a lunch bag in anywhere. But this is the water wipes, and this one is actually small packs because sometimes you do have room for a small pack and you might want a whole pack and not to have individually wrapped. So I thought this was a good thing to have too. So these will be both utilized similarly but differently. And then I also found these, which I'll probably end up returning one of these because they both are pretty much the same, just a different brand. So the orange one is just flushable wipes. I just think this is such a cute little package. Like I have individually wrapped flushable wipes, but every once in a while, maybe you'd have a little more room. Not room enough for a big pack, but a room for a little pack like this. So one of these has 8 packs of 7 wipes and one has 8 packs of 6 wipes. This is a 6. So I'm probably going to end up returning one of these. I probably don't need them both. I'll just look at the price I paid and how many wipes and make a decision. But I thought these were really cool as well because I love having flushable wipes. Now these are for like going to the bathroom. So you're not really so much worried about, if they have anything else on them, and you're going to wash your hands afterwards too. And you can tell I really like single size, like individually wrapped things. So here's another thing I found. So these are single serve toothpaste packets. So there's a ton of packets in here. I can't remember how many this is, but it is a lot of individual toothpaste packets. So I just thought this would be handy to look how thin that is, to be able to have like one toothpaste with you at all times, just in case, or for traveling, instead of taking a certain number of little travel tubes or a whole tube or multiple tubes. If it's a long trip, you could count out exactly how many days you're going to be gone and how much. I'll have to try one of these out and see if it's really just one serving, or would this be enough for like brushing in the morning and then again at night. But, count out how many days you're going to be gone and take just that many packets of toothpaste. I just thought this would be really handy to have. But also something like maybe your bug out bag or, things like that, where you're going to want to have a little bit of hygiene items, but you may not want to have a whole tube of toothpaste because space and weight are going to be an issue. These are just a couple more things I got for the same sort of reason for carrying supplements and snacks along. I don't know if I'll keep all these, but this one, I liked how you put shake powder in each individual compartment, but you don't have to open the top and pour it. You can pour it from the little spout here. So I thought that was cool. I'm not sure if I'll keep it. It's kind of juvenile looking. I think it's probably meant for baby formula, but sometimes things that are meant for baby formula can be really useful for things like, shakes and shake powders and stuff. And then these, another thing along the same lines. So this is actually by that same brand blender bottle. So it's a shake blending bottle, which we have a bunch of. But you can see it also has these couple of compartments that, similarly to the way those other things work, they're not the same. They're different sizes, because I saw a lot of comments in the reviews. I read the reviews. A lot of people were disappointed with this because they assumed it fit onto this bottle, but there's a whole different line that fits onto this bottle. So these can attach to your bottle, so you have it all in one, or they can unattach and, they open up. You can keep supplement powders, snacks, anything like that. One of these has a whole nother thing inside where you could put little like pills or something, like your vitamins, if you take those with your shake or any type of supplement that's not a powder. So I thought that this was going to be really handy. I got the gray. They had a pink, which I would have rather had, but the gray was on sale. It was much cheaper. A lot of this stuff, you're going to notice I do get a lot of stuff on sale. Definitely, by the time you see it, the sale may or may not still be on. So if you are looking at things, if you go check out my links, just check the price. Maybe a different color would be on sale. Maybe the sale's over. Maybe it's a better price than I got it for, but just be aware. So this is something that they sell separately that's like an add-on expansion pack for the same bottle. So it has this if you want to put a handle on it, but you could even just connect it on. And once again, different sizes, and they have the little pill, so you can really mix and match however you want. You could make a really, really, really tall shake bottle with all your stuff, which I probably wouldn't do, but it's just the whole mix and match. Or you could have all of your, I could remove these bottom ones from this bottle and have just the ones I want all attached together separately, put this handle on the top. It's It's an awesome system. Next, I've got some cleaning products. Now, these are from like one of our favorite stores that have just some really amazing products. So these cleaners, so this looks like a really small bottle of cleaner, but this is concentrated. So this is 12 times concentrated. So this little bottle, you just get the empty bottles, or you can use, sometimes I use glass mason jars with special spray tops that go on the mason jars because I just like the aesthetic of that. So they have markings on them. So you can see the marking for 12X. See how little cleaner you put in that, and it makes the whole bottle, the fill line's way up there, makes a whole bottle of cleaner. So one of these little bottles will last for ever and ever and ever and ever. So it's really actually way more economical than it seems. If you look at the price of a teeny bottle of cleaner, you think it's expensive till you realize how many bottles of cleaner you're going to make with that. And this is just a no work daily shower cleaner, the one you would just spray on your shower when you're getting out every day, not scrub it, just to keep the buildup from, building up. So that's awesome. Anything to save some work, I love. So I got a couple of these, one for each bathroom. And then I just got a whole bunch of bottles of the Harvest Pure fruit and vegetable wash. We love this stuff. Every time that we wash our produce, we use this. It works way better. It's got essential oils, works way better than like vinegar or baking soda or any of that stuff. And I don't we notice a taste sometimes with some of those things when I've used those in the past. We don't notice any kind of a taste with this. It works so amazing. I'll try to put some pictures on the screen, a couple times a week. Now, this one, you only use a cap full. If I'm washing a big dish pan full of vegetables, I might, like a sink full, I might use 2 or 3 capfuls, but you use very, very little. So I don't go through it that quickly, but I just don't ever want to run out of it. And if I see a deal, this was on sale, I grab the things we use as much as I can when I see a better price, because if I know we're going to use it, it's going to save me money in the long run anyways. Next, I have a couple of these. These are folding bowls. I thought this was pretty cool. There's like 3 of them in these packs. They are completely flat, like a thin, flexible plastic kind of material. They fold up and they have little snaps on them, and they make like a little bowl. I thought this would be super handy for travel, for preparedness, if you wanted to throw something in like a bug out bag or any kind of backpack kit you had, just to make sure that you were going to have a bowl if you needed one, something to hold water, to hold food, to hold lots of different things, lots of reasons. But you didn't have a lot of space. These are super light and they're completely flat. So I got 2 different sizes. I thought those were cool. And then back here, this was kind of a weird little purchase. It says traveling slow cooker. It's 8 quart, so it's pretty big. At first I thought this would like plug into your car. And I was really excited because we do a lot of like sports and traveling and just times when we are eating on the go. It actually doesn't. It plugs into a regular outlet. And basically the on the go part is just that it's like a square shape. So it packs easily. It's very stable. It won't tip over. The lid latches right down. That's part of it. So you can take it on the go. But we have power stations. We have small power stations, and we have a little small one that we often take with us in the car. We'll use it to plug in our traveling kind of cooler thing if we're going. Sometimes we're grocery shopping, at Sam's Club or Costco or something is over an hour away. So especially if we're buying frozen food, we need something to keep it cool on the way home. So I figured I could always use this with a little power station if I was using it in the car, like is what I was thinking. But what really sold me is that this particular version of it, because they have it in regular colors, but this one is the green and yellow. So it's actually our hometown school colors, and it was on sale. So it was way cheaper than the regular one. So I was like, you know what? It's a sign. I've had this on my wish list for years and years and years. So I finally pulled the trigger when I saw it go on sale. And then up here, got a few more of these Annie Chun's teriyaki bowls. My kids love these things. They are, I have tried making them in a little pan and even just with, boiling water, so that if you don't have electricity in an emergency, they still work. And the kids just like them for a quick and easy meal done in the microwave. I've got a kiddo going off to college. I've got a kiddo who sometimes is fixing her own, little snacks and stuff. So these are great. We love these. There's lots of different flavors. These are teriyaki. And then this is something new. I was really excited to find 0 sugar Oreos. Now, they're still not going to be super healthy because they're probably full of artificial sweeteners and just, I don't know. But I figured just to have a treat every once in a while, they've got regular and double stuff. I like that they come in little packs of 2 cookies. So you're not going to overdo it, because you can just grab a pack and know you're going to stick with that pack. Or you can just, if you're taking it along with you for a snack, just pack 1 pack. So 1 pack has 2 cookies, 90 calories, 16 grams of carbs, but you take away the 2 grams of fiber and the 6 grams of sugar alcohol, and that leaves 8 grams of carbs, total carbs, net carbs. So I think that's pretty awesome. It's just going to be a once in a while snack for us, just a special treat. But I thought that was kind of cool because I do love Oreos. And then another thing I've got here that's going to go along with the healthier eating. So this is gluten-free. It's egg white noodle chicken ramen. I thought this was, I couldn't believe it when I saw this, much healthier than your typical ramen. And it's got, a lot of protein. It's pretty low in calories. This is something that I just wanted to try. I will say it's a little expensive, which is why I only have one package. Usually I buy multiple packs, especially if I know I'm going to open things up and try them. But I just wanted to see how it was because I have always loved ramen, but obviously I don't eat it very often because it is pretty unhealthy. So I want to try this out. And then back here, this is just some corn silk tea. So it's basically dry corn silk. Corn silk tea is really good for like your urinary health, like your UTIs. It's really good for things like that, keeping your urinary tract all going good, your kidneys and stuff like that. And yes, I could definitely dry my own corn silks, but sometimes, every once in a while, if you're super busy, it's just easiest to buy something like this. And I've had to realize and tell myself that that's okay. So this is a big, big bag of corn silk tea. It is loose. You can get bags, tea bags, but I figured I'd just put it into one of our little tea brewer thingies. Then I've got a few seasoning and stuff. Like this was something new. Like, oh my gosh, jalapeno dill pickle hot sauce. Are you kidding me? Super excited to try this because I love dill pickles and dill anything. This is a seasoning we've been using a ton of. It's just great value, but I love this on roasted veggies, mashed potatoes. We've been doing mashed cauliflower. This is so good on everything. Been using a lot of it, so I thought I should get another bottle. This is a new one I hadn't seen before. I think McCormick's coming out with a lot of these sort of fancy seasonings. So this is garlic and olive oil, so it sounds really good. It'll be good on pasta. Can't wait to try this. Seasonings are very, very important for the Prepper Pantry. We all know this, so that we can season up our basic foods in lots of different ways and not get sick of eating it. We can make lots of meals. And seasonings stay good just about forever. And then this was something, lime pepper. I've never seen this. I've heard of lemon pepper, and I love lime. So I thought I would try this because it sounds good. Up here, I've got a few things. I was really excited to find this. So this is something new. In fact, I had a hard time getting my hands on these at first, but they're slowly rolling out. So there's another flavor that I haven't gotten yet, but it's on its way. So these are protein-packed Nature Valley bars, 16 grams of protein per bar. But honestly, what excited me most about these is look how delicious they look. Like, look at that layer of whatever that is. It looks like frosting. It looks amazing. So I don't know. I'll probably be disappointed because they're probably not as good as they look. But let's see, 220 calories, 17 grams of carbs, take away the fiber. So you got 13 grams of net carbs. Not too bad. I just thought, I'm really not a fan of, I'm a big fan of getting your protein from foods that should have protein, like chicken and, beef and things like that. But that being said, sometimes we're busy. Like sometimes you just need to have something convenient, something you can grab and go. And sometimes something like this might be a better choice than some of the other foods you could have if you're on the go. And having a whole bunch of extra protein is a plus. So I'm excited to try these. And then we found these. These are a legendary brand protein pasta. I was like, are you kidding me? Because look at this. It's like a cup, like an Easy Mac cup. 35 grams of protein and only 5 grams of net carbs in one of these cups and 220 calories. So I thought that was something worth trying. They're kind of spendy, so I found them on sale and I only got a couple of each flavor. There's like a regular cheddar mac and cheese, or I don't know, mac and cheese. I guess it doesn't say cheddar, and then there's a garlic parm. So I'm really hoping these are good because that's really kind of a remarkable macros on that, if those are good. And then down here, something really kind of interesting. I have become like obsessed with collecting and trying all of these limited edition Kraft mac and cheese because, I loved mac and cheese growing up. My kids loved mac and cheese growing up, and they're coming out with all these cool flavors. It's just fun. It's certainly not super healthy, but it's cheap and easy, and it's just fun to try the different flavors. So this is a chicken ramen flavored Kraft mac and cheese. This is the latest limited edition flavor. I had to get like 7 because they weren't available at any store near me, and it wouldn't ship one box. So it shipped a 7-pack. So can't wait to try those. Now this is another thing. So this is a Top Ramen Hot Pot Fusions. This is a huge bowl. And it's a 6-pack because it's just how I could get them. I got a pretty good deal on this as well. So this is, it says shareable size because they are huge. This says Japanese garlic tonkatsu pork with black garlic oil. We got another version of these. We got the coconut curry chicken on our Aldi trip, and it was really, really good for what it was. So I looked to see if they had different flavors, and they did. So I got this to try. Hopefully it's good because I did get the 6-pack. So hopefully we like it. They are huge. They are ramen, so probably not super healthy, but you can totally add, extra freeze-dried meats and veggies and different things into these to make them healthier. And this is so huge. You could share it with a person or two. Next, a few things that are kind of like clearance deals or new on my radar. This was something that I really had never heard of before or seen. And then somebody mentioned using it in some enchilada sauce, I think. So this is El Pato hot tomato sauce. So I think it is tomato sauce with jalapeno, I think is what it said. It only says chili. It doesn't say what kind of chili, but I got 2 of these just because I'd never ever really had this before or tried it. So I got 2 to try. Then these were some clearance deals. So I found these on a clearance rack in a Walmart kind of near me, and I had never seen this before. It is a tomato sauce, and it says pasta sauce with cheese. It is a pouch. It says it's 1 serving per package, 110 calories. However, it is 7.1 ounces, and I think half a cup is usually a serving of pasta sauce, but don't we usually use more than 1 serving? I have no idea what this is going to taste like. I'm going to have to try it because it's an interesting concept. I always wanted to find like individual packets of pasta sauce, like single serving, and I think Ragu made some for a very short while, but I was never able to get any. So if this is good, I'm kind of excited. Of course, it was on clearance. I'll probably never be able to find them again if they are good. Then I got a couple packets of meat that were on clearance. So this is shredded beef with beef broth, the Hereford brand. We like their stuff. We get a lot of their stuff. This is a different brand, and it's pork al pastor. So this one has sauce and seasoning and stuff in it. And these can be really handy. Like they tear open. They're not a can. You don't have to deal with a can or a can opener. They're ready to eat. They can be great for emergencies. They can be great for traveling. Lots of stuff. These are all the same. It's just multiple pouches of the same. This was something else I found. Little tea filters, disposable tea filters. So you can make your own tea bags. They were marked at $4, which wasn't that great of a deal, but they rang up at $2.50. So I was excited. I got a couple of those. This is Better Goods protein fiber spaghetti. So I'm thinking this is like Better Goods version of like Barilla Plus, which Barilla Plus I like to buy, but it's gotten really expensive. So I was excited to find a little bit cheaper option. The only shape I could find was spaghetti. So I think that's all they have right now. Maybe they'll expand. Then just a couple more clearance things. Pill pockets for the kitty cats. These were half price from the marked price at the grocery store. So, we have our pets. We always have to prep for our pets, first aid, all the things. So that's good. A shampoo that was half price made at $1 something. So that was pretty awesome. And then a couple different pet first aid things. So this is something you've probably never heard of before. It's like a bandage thingy. So it's basically made to hold like something over their tail, because we had one of our dogs who got injured on the very tip of her tail, and she is an old girl, so she needs some care, but she's 17 years old, and I was thinking, how on earth am I going to get something to stay on the tip of her tail? So I discovered that they have things like these, whatever these are. It's funny how like when you have an actual situation, like you can think you're very prepared. Like we always think that our first aid kits and our pet first aid kits and all of that is like all completely done. We have everything we could ever need. And then you have a situation and you realize you don't. You've come up with something else you need. It's the same with emergencies and preparedness. You think you have it all taken care of. When you go through an actual situation, you're like, oh, I wish we would have had XYZ. So this is the newest addition to our pet first aid. Also got some more of this liquid bandage, which is really good for things like that where you can't get an actual bandage on it. So that is basically the haul. So now let's try some of these things and see what we think of them. Now I'm going to open up and taste test a few of these items. I'm really excited to try some of these and share what I think with you. So let's jump right in. So these are the things that I want to taste test today. I've got this tomato sauce, this pasta sauce with cheese, and I've got the sugar-free Oreos, the zero sugar Oreos. I'm going to try the regular, not the double stuffed. this Hot Pot Fusions ramen cup. And then I'm going to open up these freeze-dried mushrooms so I can show you what these look like inside the can. And I also have the other products from the bundle. I have those already open because those aren't new products, so I already had them. So I'll open those up. The mushrooms are brand new in this size can, so I'll open these, but I'm going to show you some of the other products, what they look like inside from my already open cans, because I just don't want to open more when I already have some open. And then I'm going to try this protein bar, this protein packed, and the protein chips, and then the chicken ramen flavored mac and cheese, and then these protein pastas. Now I've got a few of these up here because I want to try each flavor, cooking it the way you're supposed to in the microwave, but I also want to try 1 cup just by pouring boiling water right in and letting it set and see if it works that way, just to kind of see how emergency friendly these are actually going to be. And then, of course, I'm going to try this egg white noodle ramen, this healthier ramen version. And I am going to open up and unbox the Instant Pot ice cream maker to show you guys as well. So I'm going to get a pot of water on for the macaroni real quick and also get my rapid boil kettle going. So I'll have some boiling water to pour into the ramen and the macaroni cup. And then once I get that started, I'm going to make up the protein pastas in the microwave and taste test all the things that don't need any cooking. All right, so let's see how these mix up. So I'm going to put the water in, and then the cheese powder is going to go in later. Let's see how these look. This is kind of crusted onto here, this powder of some sort. I'm sure it's supposed to be in there. All right, so they've got a fill line. I guess I'll do them one at a time. I'm going to have to. Uncovered, 3.5 minutes. Okay. This is the cheddar cheese powder, and this is for the one that's in the microwave right now, the garlic parmesan. It smells really good. All right, while that one's finishing up, I'll go get this one ready. Give this one a stir. That is interesting. Now, after it comes out, it says to stir and put the lid on for 3 minutes, then add the cheese powder. So we'll try that. All right, so here is the first one. So stir and put the lid on. You can see thickening up. It feels pretty soft. I'm not really sure why it has to sit. So that's the garlic parm. Right, and here is the cheddar one. So this one seems a little more liquidy. I guess you can't see that, but give that a stir and get it sitting with the lid. And it's time now to add the cheese sauce to the garlic parm. So let's give this a stir and add in the cheese sauce. Mix, powder, whatever you want to call it. Give this a good mix. It sure does smell good. All right, so this one is ready to try. So you can see it's, less than half of this cup is full of pasta, but I'm sure it is a serving. Serving sizes are actually a lot smaller than what we typically tend to serve ourselves. All right, let's see how this one's doing. This one just seems to have more liquid left in it, but I guess that happens. Go ahead and add the cheddar cheese sauce. Boy, this one will thicken up a little bit. I'll let it set while I try the other one. I probably put a little more water, slightly overfilled it. But who knows, maybe we'll like it saucier. I'm gonna let this one sit with the lid off so that it can thicken up a little bit. And now I'm gonna give this one a try, this garlic parm. Okay. The texture is okay. The texture is decent. It's not really bad. It's a little different, but not bad. The flavors, it's okay. Like, it's not like standout. I'm not going to sit here and say this is the most amazing macaroni I've ever had. However, because I know it has all the extra protein and it's got, it's low in calories, it's high in protein, it's really low in carbs. This is definitely something I would buy again because of that, not because it's like so delicious. But it's not really bad. It's just a little bit bland, a little bit, I don't know. Now I'm going to try the cheddar one. And this one, like I said, it's a little bit more runny. It has set up a little bit. Once again, the texture is okay. I think the texture is a little better. I like it better on this one. I like the little bit saucierness. And the noodles are plenty tender. I don't think it was cooking it too short. I think I just probably added a little extra water to this one without meaning to. Flavor, once again, it's fine. It's not like standout. It's not amazing. It's not super flavorful, but this definitely gives you like that kind of simple box mac and cheese vibe that you're eating, but you're getting it for like a lot more protein, a lot less carbs. So for that reason, I would buy these again and keep these on hand, not because they're amazingly delicious macaroni and cheese, but because they do fit into our diet a little bit better, and I think they're worth. But I'm definitely going to try to find them on sale, like I did with these, because it's not a huge amount of food and it's not like super standout delicious, but I do like them. And let's get this one ready to try just the boiling water method. I think just like with the microwave, I'm going to leave the sauce packet out until after the noodles have hopefully thickened up. If this doesn't work, I'll pop it in the microwave so it won't go to waste. I'm just curious about whether this could be made without a microwave. Let's get the ramen ready to go. This is the Japanese garlic with black garlic oil. Looks pretty good. It is huge. It says shareable size. All right, lots going on in here. We've got a veggie packet with the dehydrated veggies. We've got the seasoning blend. And then this is a like liquid sauce. So this is probably the black garlic oil, I'm assuming. Got a fill line in there, so we'll get this filled up as soon as the water's hot. Gonna fix up the macaroni. That water's boiling. Now this says it all right here. 2 favorite noodly dishes in one. I think that's why I thought this was kind of cool. And actually Mr. Wicked Prepared was the one who spotted this for me, because so many kids love Kraft mac and cheese and so many kids love chicken ramen. So this kind of mixes them both into one dish. I thought that was kind of cool. This does call for milk and butter like your typical macaroni and cheese, and the packet is a lot heftier than a ramen packet. So it's not just going to be the salty seasoning. It's going to make a creamy sauce that's flavored like the ramen. All right, my kettle is hot, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm pouring very hot boiling water into here just to see if this one will work without a microwave. I'm going to give it a stir. It might take longer than the 3 minutes or whatever it says to microwave it, but hopefully this will work. Let's see. I'm going to set this aside and also throw some water into this ramen. But first, let's see. Put seasoning and vegetable packets into noodles, set aside sauce, add the boiling water. Okay. There's our seasoning and our vegetables and our water up to the fill line. Now this says to let it set for 5 minutes. So that is what we will do. Real quick, I want to open up these mushrooms. This is the brand new Pantry can of mushrooms, and this is actually their new labeling. You can see this is the new label, and this is what the old labeling looked like. They're just kind of changing the label around to really incorporate Thrivelist, because Thrivelist is the company that produces the Ready Harvest food. So Ready Harvest is the food portion of the Thrivelist brand, but Thrivelist also produces other things. They have 20-year emergency water. That's an industry-leading product. They're the only ones really with a product like that. They have got a whole line of water storage and purification products, as well as survival gear and education. They've got online courses and trainings as well. So they've got all kinds of things under the Thrivelist brand. So they're redoing their labeling to kind of bring it all together and make it more cohesive. So that's why you're going to see the different labels until they get everything switched over. And one thing I forgot to mention about these pantry cans that people love also is that they have this pop top. So you don't have to struggle with a can opener and all that. You just pull the tab and it's open, easy peasy. You can see there's an oxygen absorber here, and you can see how full this can is. It's really full, pretty close to the top, which is nice because a lot of brands, when you open the can, they are nowhere near full. And you especially notice it with like the big number 10 cans. Some of those are really, really not full from some brands when you get those. But that's one of the things that Thrivelist strives for and is known for, is filling their cans. So look at these beautiful, beautiful mushrooms. Let's do sniff test. They smell so good. They have that beautiful earthy kind of umami mushroom flavor. These are absolutely beautiful. They are sliced mushrooms. You can see they're freeze dried. So freeze dried food is ultra light. It's light, kind of like styrofoam, because all the water is removed. And in your fruits and vegetables, a lot of what's in there, there's so much water content. So they're very dry and crispy. And that is part of what makes these have such an incredibly long shelf life, is that all of the moisture is removed. So unopened, this can, if you hadn't opened the pop top, it's going to last for 30 years. It's got a 30-year shelf life. Now, once you open a can of freeze-dried food, you generally have, with most items, about a year, give or take, to use that up. And that's going to depend a lot on how you store it and what the conditions are where you store it and what the conditions are where you live. If it's very dry or very humid. Like people in dry climates, you can keep it for years and years and not have issues. And there's definitely things that you can do to make sure that it's going to last on the longer side rather than the shorter side. But that's one thing people love about these small cans is you really don't have to worry about it because it's a great size to be able to use up and not worry about how long it's going to be sitting around. But this is the mushrooms. A couple of other standout products in this bundle that I said I would show you that I have got open because I've already had these cans. So the cheese and the egg crystals are a couple of really standout products because these are really high value items. These are typically your more expensive items when you buy these anywhere. So these are the egg crystals. This is an absolute favorite in our house. You can tell because I've used a lot of these. They're beautiful, beautiful egg crystals. You just mix them with water. There's a ratio and you absolutely cook them up, and people don't even know the difference between these and fresh eggs. They're absolutely delicious. You can do omelets, you can do breakfast casseroles, all sorts of things with these. I put them in my mixes, cake mixes, like all sorts of things. Then the cheese, this is cheddar cheese. Freeze-dried shredded real cheese is a great thing to have in your pantry. So you can see this is open and I have used some, but I obviously haven't used a lot because it is pretty full up to the top. And the cheese is just absolutely beautiful. It is real cheese. It has just been freeze-dried. And all it takes is a tiny bit of cold water. It's usually about maybe 3 tablespoons to a cup of cheese. And, 15, 20 minutes to bring it back. And then it melts and it is beautiful. It's also great for snacking on by itself. This particular cheese, of course, it's all good quality, no GMOs in any of this food. But this particular cheese, if you look at the ingredients, it is just cheese. This one doesn't even have any of these starches or, cellulose or potato starch or any of those things that they add to a lot of commercial cheeses to keep them from clumping. Just that extra ingredient that we don't really want in our cheese. So this does not have that. And it still has all of the nutrients that you're going to find in your cheese, like 21 grams of protein here. It's got 30% of your calcium, 20% of your vitamin A. It's got a whole bunch of good stuff in a serving of this cheese. What else is in the bundle? We've got the green peppers and the onions. So like these are the peppers. You can see this is another can that I have open, but I haven't used much because it's pretty full. Beautiful, beautiful pepper dices. You can see these are just great to throw into recipes, meals in a jar. If you just don't have a pepper, your pepper's gone bad, you just want a little bit of pepper, don't want to take the time to chop, you can throw this into anything you're cooking fresh, or you can have it for, emergencies, meals in a jar, all the things like that. Onions. My onion can is actually empty. This is one very, very popular item for a lot of people because who likes to chop onions really? Nobody wants to chop onions and you're going to get teary and your hands are going to smell, and I just don't like it. So that's something that we use a ton of. It's also very popular with a lot of other people. I will show you the onions. So these are really, really nice pieces of onion. They're not the teeny weeny little, McDonald's size dices that you get with some different food storage places. So these are beautiful, beautiful pieces of real onion. So, so handy and so useful. But if you wanted them smaller, you can always chop them or run them through a little, food processor or anything, and you get them small. They can actually be put, because they're so dry, they can be put into like a baggie and just pound it a little bit and they'll break right up if you wanted smaller pieces. That's really great. So, but it is just onions, no additives or preservatives in any of this stuff. No GMOs. It's all really good, made in the USA quality stuff. Now, a lot of the other freeze-dried food that I showed today, I have opened up and taste tested or showed in other videos, so I won't really do it today. I will show you just sort of what because these are pretty new, these big bags that have the individual bags inside of them. So this is with the corn. This is kind of what it's like. You get an individual serving bag of the corn that you can just throw in your bag and take with you, or throw in a lunchbox, anything. They're great to have in your bug out bag, anything like that. There's several different varieties that come like this. But if you want to see any of the other food opened up in action, being used, being tasted, I've got a whole playlist of haul videos where I open and taste test a lot of different stuff. I would work from the most recent backwards because the taste test is something that I've only been doing more recently. And I have a whole playlist of meal in a jar videos where you can see all of these different foods kind of coming together into meals, and how you can cook with them and how you can use them and how they turn out when they're cooked and how delicious they are. Now, some of these don't have to be cooked, so I'm going to make myself a little taste plate with a few of these items. So I'm going to open up this protein bar. This is pretty hefty. I mean, it's 220 calories and, you know, you're 16 grams of protein, but it's not a small bar. It's pretty hefty. Smells really good. Looks pretty good. This was what attracted me to these when I saw them online, this layer that looks so good here. I think I'm going to start by cutting it in half so I can share with Mr. Wicked Prepared. And then I might divide my half into just a little bit of a bite size slice for my tasting plate. So here's what that looks like up close. Another sweet, I'm going to add some of the zero sugar Oreos. I'm just going to try one. I'm going to try the regular, not this extra stuff, double stuff. What is it called? So you can see they do come in these individual packs. I love that. So it keeps you from eating a whole sleeve of Oreos because I've been there. 2 cookies in each. They look pretty normally Oreo-ish. Looks like a normal Oreo. Get that on my plate. And of course, the pizza protein chips. 19 grams of protein in this bag of chips. This is an individual serving, 1 serving per bag. They are kind of spendy. That's why I got these pizza ones, because they were on sale by Walmart and there was an extra Ibotta rebate. So I will put links down below. I do think these are still on sale, but you'll have to check. I'm not sure if the Ibotta rebate for these is still active, but if you don't already have Ibotta, you're going to want to probably download that and give it a shot anyways, because there's tons of rebates on there, tons of deals. I get freebies all the time, free items. And I think they'll give you like $5 into your account just for using my link and my code to download. So might as well give it a shot. But let's try these pizza chips and then you can see what they're like, because there's a ton of different flavors of these and we like them. So here's your chips. Not a super full bag, but they pack the extra air into these so that the chips won't get broken. And I mean, this got delivered to my house. I ordered it through walmart.com, so I didn't have to go to the store. And there's quite a few whole chips in there. They're not all crumbled up. That's impressive. Then I also want to try this sauce. So I'm going to open this and put some into a little cup right here. And I'm just going to taste it cold. I'm just so curious about what it tastes like. I'll probably regret opening this if I like it, because like I said, I got it on clearance. I don't know if I'll be able to find any more. And, you know, if we like it, I might be kind of bummed that I used up a whole one just to taste. But how am I going to know if we don't try it? Ooh, this pouch even tears, which I wasn't sure if it would tear or need to be cut, but it didn't open it all the way. So let's try the opener part of this, because I have tried the, ooh, there you go. Sliced it right open. Wow, I didn't even need to open that all the way, but here's the sauce, tomato sauce with cheese. It definitely looks cheesy and it smells pretty good. I'm going to try this. Use one of these little sauce cups. It's actually meant to clip onto the side of your plate if you have a pretty full plate of something, but my plate's not full, so I'm not going to do that. All right, so there is my little tasting plate of these little things. Now let's taste them. All right, I'm going to try what's on my tasting plate. I think I'm going to try salty, sweet, so that it kind of does a palate cleanse. So let's try the chip, the pizza protein chip. It has a really good pizza-y flavor. Now I want you to see, these look like tortilla, type chips. They're a little bit delicate compared to a regular tortilla chip. Like I've tried other flavors of these and I like to dip them in cottage cheese to add more protein. They're a little bit delicate. You have to be careful dipping them because they will break, but they're nice and crispy and they're very well seasoned. Like they don't leave you wishing it had more seasoning. It's got plenty of seasoning and I really like that. 19 grams of protein in that bag of chips. I like the pizza flavor. That's good. All right, now I'm going to try the protein-packed peanut butter chocolate bar. That's pretty good. It's definitely not as good as I envisioned it being with that like mousse-like looking layer that looks so much like frosting. It's definitely not like frosting. It's pretty good. It's maybe got a slightly bitter flavor that this type of food tends to have sometimes, but definitely not as amazing as I was hoping it would be. I can tell that it will be filling. I just had a pretty small portion of that and it feels like it'll fill me up. And the fact that it's got 16 grams of protein, I mean, that's definitely makes it worth a snack worth carrying around. And they're not super expensive compared to any other granola bar or protein bar. I'm excited to try the other flavor, which was a caramel, some sort of a caramel flavor, because that one just didn't quite excite me as much as it did on the picture, but it was okay. I'll see what Mr. Wicked Prepared thinks of it too. But we'll definitely eat those. It's just not as good as I hoped. All right, now I'm going to try the little tomato sauce with cheese. I'm just curious about this. That's pretty good. It kind of reminds me of like a Chef Boyardee. So that's probably kind of what it is. So that would be a passable sauce for a pasta. Kids would probably definitely like it. I mean, it's definitely, for what it is, like a portable little pouch of probably 1 to 2 servings of sauce. I think this is good. You could definitely doctor it up too. That's not bad. It's not amazing. I mean, Chef Boyardee is kind of plain, but it's pretty decent. All right, now let's try the sugar-free or zero sugar Oreo. That's good. That tastes like an Oreo. I honestly don't know if I would notice the difference between that and a regular Oreo. If you gave me that and just told me it was an Oreo, I don't think I'd notice the difference. That's pretty good. It's not super high in protein. The whole idea is it's just low in sugar. It's not even incredibly low in carbs, but it's calorie controlled, pretty low carbs, zero sugar. A nice little treat for occasionally. It's very good. It reminds me of a regular Oreo, so it is good. I like that one a lot. All right, so let's check out this ramen cup that has been sitting for 5 minutes or longer. It actually looks like there's little bits of maybe probably TVP, probably not real meat in this, but you can see little meaty bits, and the veggies, they kind of came back to life pretty well. So these noodles seem done. There's some broth left in here. I think there's probably supposed to be broth. Now let's see if we can add this savory sauce. Whoops. Did I open it? I did. Now let's see if I can show you how well this works. I only got a little teeny hole in the packet, but now this packet is not clear like my salad dressing pouch. With the salad dressing pouch, I could really see how well this was working because it was clear. But you can see that got it all out. I did get a little bit on the tool here, but I didn't get anything on my fingers. I can go rinse this off in the sink. My fingers weren't slipping down. It worked awesome. Let's stir this all together. Oh, you can see little, I don't know what that is, little oily bits, or it smells pretty good. So let's give this one a try. Before we do though, I'm gonna check on the mac and cheese one and see how this is doing without microwaving. Probably should have stirred it a time or two in between, but if I can get this to break up, seems like the noodles got soft. I just left it alone with the lid on. I think it could have used a little bit of a stir in between, but I'm getting this to break up. Let's try a noodle and make sure that it is soft. It feels soft. Yeah, it's pretty soft. That's definitely tender enough to be edible. I'm going to go ahead and add my seasoning pouch in. All right, go ahead and put in the seasoning and stir that around, and then I'll let it set a little bit longer while we taste the noodles, the hot pot noodles. And that sauce mixture, or that sauce powder, actually thickens that right up. So I think this actually might work pretty well just as a add boiling water dish, which would make it, just even more emergency friendly, appropriate for hiking, appropriate for, a lot of different situations where you may not have a microwave, but you might be able to get some boiling water. This actually looks better than the version of this that I made in the microwave. Let's let that sit a remaining few minutes and try this hot pot ramen. It actually smells good. I smell a little bit of mushroominess, which I love mushrooms. So I don't know if this has mushrooms, but it has that nice earthy mushroomy smell. All right, let's try this black garlic pork tonkatsu ramen, whatever this is. Let's see how this one is. I love how they're sort of cultural. Like the coconut curry chicken was probably like Thai. This seems like it's like Japanese maybe. That's pretty tasty. Not super salty. It does have like a garlicky, a little bit of like umami, mushroomy kind of taste to it. That's pretty good. I don't think it's quite as good, in my opinion, as the coconut curry chicken one, but I love curry stuff. So this one's just a little bit more, not quite as like interesting and different, but this definitely has a good flavor, a good texture. Makes a huge bowl of soup, so you could definitely share this with somebody. I'm going to share this with Mr. Wicked Prepared and probably the kids because we're not eating a lot of like noodles and stuff right now, but that's actually really good. All right, now I'm going to try this Legendary Mac, the protein pasta that I made with just pouring in boiling water, no microwave method. So this is, and that actually looks pretty good. Looks better than the one of this flavor that I made in the microwave. The pasta's tender, plenty tender. The sauce is thickened. It is actually really, it's a better texture than the one I made in the microwave. It's pretty good. Same review as I gave the microwave ones. It's not my favorite flavor of pasta. Mr. Wicked Prepared and I talked about it because we both tried these and we like the regular orange flavor of mac and cheese better than the Parmesan garlic. The Parmesan garlic is not our favorite. But they're both okay. And even the cheddar one the orange one is not like amazing. The same thing I said as the microwave ones. Like the fact that it has so much protein, so few carbs, and so few calories makes this something I definitely want to keep on hand. But the flavor and texture is like, it's okay. It's not outstanding, not amazing, but fits into our eating plan a lot better. So I'm definitely going to keep these on hand. All right, macaroni, I'm going to fix up just like any other. I've got my half a stick of butter, 4 tablespoons, get that melted in. And I've also got my 1/4 cup of milk. All right, I think that's about melted in. So now let's put in our chicken ramen sauce pouch. Interesting. This one seems to be staying a bit more grainy. It's not melting in as easily, but I think it is melting in. Just need to be patient or add a little bit more milk. Sometimes that helps, but I think this will be okay. All right, let's get this served up and give it a try. Here it is. Here's what it looks like. All right, now let's try the chicken ramen mac and cheese. That's pretty good. I think that tastes good. I mean, like I said, I've always loved Kraft mac and cheese. I don't know that it tastes just like chicken ramen. Not exactly what I expected. If you wanted chicken ramen flavored macaroni, you could probably just dump a chicken ramen packet in your macaroni. It's more like a little less cheesy, more salty macaroni and cheese. I wouldn't say this tastes just like chicken ramen, but I do think it's good. Definitely doesn't taste just like regular Kraft. I mean, it's more like a chicken ramen than that, but not super authentic to chicken ramen flavor, but still, it's still a good macaroni. I think it's good. I think kids would like this. I think it's just a good little noodle dish if you need something simple, just not exactly like chicken ramen. Now let's see about this egg white noodle chicken ramen. I'm super, super curious about this. Good food is good medicine. That is very true. So this is made with egg whites, 15 grams of protein. I don't think they tried to design this. It says modern Korean flavor design, Korean ramen seasonings, depth, umami, and restraint. And I read reviews that said it was a little spicy. So I don't think this one is trying to completely, perfectly mimic chicken ramen. Microwave or stovetop? Add up to 1 cup of additional water or adjust to desired taste. I read some comments that said they did not add additional water. So let's see. Microwave for 2 minutes. I think I'm going to do this microwave just because I want, for the sake of time, but knowing that it can be done on the stovetop in an emergency on your emergency burner, good to know. So this is the whole package for 110 calories, 8 grams of carbs, 1 gram of fiber. So that's 7 grams of net carbs and 15 grams of protein. So this is actually qualifies as a high protein food because if you multiply this by 10, you get more than the number of calories. And 12% of your daily calcium, 6% of your iron. That's not bad. Let's see how we can try this. Okay, so inside is a different package with the noodles and a different package with the seasoning. Now, I like to drain a lot of the water out of my ramen noodles and have them without a lot of liquid. So I think I will probably be doing these without the extra water, but we shall see. Let's give it the smell test. I don't really smell anything. It doesn't smell bad. All right, I got my favorite microwave safe bowl that's pretty big, so it should definitely hold all these noodles. It says microwave for 2 minutes. I'm going to probably give it 30 seconds or so and give it a stir. Sometimes things don't need to go as long as it says. All right, so this I did 30 seconds stir, 30 seconds stir, and it is pretty hot after only a minute. So it definitely does not need 2 minutes, not in my microwave. So here is the special seasoning. This thing is coming more in handy than I thought it would. All right, so here's the chicken special Korean ramen seasoning. Probably could have even drained out some of this water that was in here, but I will try it like this. It looks good. These noodles don't look exactly like, you know, your typical regular grocery store ramen. They're very, very thin. They look pretty interesting though. Now let's try the egg white noodle ramen and see how this is. It's a little spicy, but the taste is good. It's not super salty, but it's got a good flavor. A little bit spicy. I didn't see any other flavors of this, so I don't know if there's any other options. The noodles are like, I don't mind the texture of these. They're like, it's a little bit funny chewing them because they're so skinny, but they're not really bad. Like I honestly, they don't give you quite that same satisfaction that like typical ramen does, but this is much, much healthier than eating typical ramen, and it's actually pretty good. And it's not too spicy. It's a little spicy, but which you wouldn't expect, but it's not super spicy at all. I think that's actually pretty good, especially for the, once again, the nutrients you're getting, all the protein, low calorie, low carbs. I think that's a winner. It's expensive. I'm going to try to find it on sale. We won't keep a lot of it in the house, but it's a good little easy, quick meal to have. It just needs to be heated up, and it's a lot healthier than some of the other options. All right, let's check out this ice cream machine if we can. So we've got an instruction manual. I'm sure it's got some recipes, or else maybe there's a separate recipe book. But I'm going to have a link down below where you can check out some different recipes and different stuff for this and have it in action. Stickers. You've got your little paddles because you can make the rolled ice cream. And here she is. Let's see if I can get this out. I think what I'm going to do is put the box on the floor and lift the machine right up here onto the counter. And so this is what she looks like. She's pretty heavy because, like I said, she does have a condenser. Is that what it's called? I think that's what it's called. And so it freezes itself. You don't have to put anything into the freezer. So you've got, this must be for adding your mix-ins. This is the paddle that's going to make the ice cream all built into the lid. This is the little pan. I'm not going to mess around with this too much because I haven't read the instructions yet and I don't want to break it. I just wanted to show you how it works. It is, you know, the size it is. Here's the control panel. Here's where it makes the ice cream. Super cool. I'm so excited to get started with this. I hope you had fun today checking out all these new things with me. This is fun, but I hope it's also inspired and encouraged you to make some forward progress in your own pantry and preparedness. Remember, you don't have to buy what I buy. You don't have to buy a lot all at once. Small steps, slowly but surely, at a pace and a budget that work for you and your household. As long as you're moving forward, that's all that matters. Let me know down in the comments something new that you saw or learned today. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, leave me an ice cream emoji down in the comments and check out this video next for some more info on how to build your preparedness so you're ready for whatever hits us next. I'm Jara with Wicked Prepared. Survive today, thrive tomorrow. We'll see you next time.